Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Well, it's a beautiful evening here in southern Alberta in Canada. I finally get to do a video with the door open because it's usually windy in southern Alberta, but it's a beautiful night. So I want to get a video done before the winds come up. And just as I say that, the trees start moving. Well, let's see how far we get here. So I want to do another video that talks about some of the questions that I get from people and that I've had from people while I've been off of YouTube here. And I want to talk about a question I get quite a bit is, has my viewpoint changed on having an all-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive over a two-wheel drive van? Well, let me say, overall, for most people, my viewpoint has not changed. I don't think most people need an all-wheel drive van, and I don't think that most people need a four-wheel drive vehicle when they're going out camping. I'm not a fan of a four-wheel drive van. The biggest reason being is because there's not a lot of four-wheel drive vans out there unless they're converted into four-wheel drive. And once you get them converted into a four-wheel drive vehicle, I have seen so many issues with four-wheel drive conversions that it's not funny. So I would strongly recommend, if you think you need a vehicle with all-wheel capability, four-wheel low or whatever, that you look at getting yourself an all-wheel drive van. Now, something happened this past winter. My wife was out for a drive. Somebody rear-ended her, and her car was inoperable for 3 months while it was being repaired. For one of those months, she took my Subaru and drove my Subaru. Middle of winter, she took the Subaru, and I drove the van. I used the van every day, whether it was plus temperatures or whether it was minus temperatures. And we're in Canada, so minus is actually minus. Below zero, below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I took the van. Whether there was snow on the ground, whether it was a blizzard, whether there was ice on the ground, whether it was nice, I took the van. My van is not all-wheel drive. And I have to say, the van handled really well. As I've talked about before, it has really good snow tires on it. I leave the snow tires on it year-round just for the extra traction, just because I come to places like this where there's still snow on the ground in the middle of summer. And the van handled really well. But I did notice a huge difference when I went back into the all-wheel drive Subaru. It wasn't so much the capability of the Subaru for my daily work, but it was the security of the all-wheel drive. If you're driving your van, a year-round van to work, if you need the van for going to doctor's appointments, if you need the van for this, that, and the other thing, and you can't take a day off here and a day off there when the weather's bad, I would suggest, if you're getting a new van, is to get yourself an all-wheel drive van. Put good tires on it and go from that point. Do I think that if you drive on the general roads that most people drive on, that you need an all-wheel drive van? No. Do I think that if you drive it occasionally in the winter that you need an all-wheel drive van? No. Do I think that you should go out and sell your two-wheel drive van like mine to get yourself an all-wheel drive van? No, I do not. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that the money is well spent by doing that. And I don't think for the average everyday person, you need an all-wheel drive van. But again, if it's your daily driver, if you're going to work in it, if you're using it in all weather conditions and you live somewhere like I do where it snows one day, it's icy the next day, it's dry the next day, it's 30 below the next day, I think an all-wheel drive van is worth it. Now, people ask me all the time, will you sell your van and get an all-wheel drive van? Here's what I tell them. If somebody wants to give me an all-wheel drive van, I have no problem selling this one and taking the free all-wheel drive van. But for what my van has, for as capable as my van is, for as much as I use my van and how well it handles with the tires I have on it, and for taking me to places that I want to go, I absolutely have no need for an all-wheel drive vehicle, nor will I be selling this anytime soon and buying an all-wheel drive vehicle. If I sold the Subaru tomorrow and I was going to use this as my daily driving van in all the conditions that we have here in southern Alberta, I would probably look at selling this van as well and buying myself an all-wheel drive to use it as my daily driver with that extra security of all-wheel drive. But honestly, for most people, I just don't see it. Likewise, for a lot of these YouTube people who actually don't have to drive their van all the time, don't have appointments they have to get to, don't have a job that they have to get to 9 to 5 and drive in all these weather conditions. For these people who go to warmer climates in the wintertime, or they don't live where it gets snow like we do, I just don't see the need of it. Especially, like I said earlier, especially four-wheel drive vans. I just have not seen a good conversion that I would trust in that. Little side note, every time you do a modification to your van, such as all-wheel drive, or such as four-wheel drive, such as jacking it up, such as adding this, that, and the other thing to it, it adds extra issues to it. And that's the big reason I don't like doing extra modifications to the engine, to the suspension, to the drivetrain, and that sort of thing. So until next time, get out there, enjoy your van, enjoy the great outdoors, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.